Good evening. It's my pleasure again to welcome you to Barthelmes Recital Evening of Concert. Today is Mr. Pollak's day. Today we celebrate the wonderful person, teacher, and the musician. Mr. Pollak always impresses me with his love of music. I remember my first acquaintance with him when he was a talent development faculty member. At that time, to me, he was this quiet and reserved introvert. After a while, I get to know unique personality trait of his unique sense of humor. He's a wonderful person to get to know and extremely talented musician. He became a dear person to me. He's very sensitive, kind, and thoughtful. On one occasion, he gave me a rare CD of Armenian chamber music collection works that brought a piece of Armenia to me. Mr. Pollak, you always come up with precious gifts. I consider one of the most precious gifts is to be able to know you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr.
Well, I'd like to introduce my companion here on the piano. Do you have a program there? Sure, would you like it? Yeah, yeah, I forget what I'm supposed to be playing. If you'll notice in the titles of the pieces, like when you go down to number 5 and number 1, you'll notice that there's sonatas for piano and violin as opposed to violin and piano. So she has a lot of work to do. When I got the idea for this concert, my first thought was there are a lot of young people in the audience here, so why not play things that would be appealing to young people? And so I thought, how could I figure out what are the most popular pieces of music? And one way I thought was figure out what composers had been recorded the most. So I looked up to see what composers have been recorded the most. And of course, this is a countdown, and number 1 is at the bottom. Mozart has been recorded almost twice as much as any other composer. I have to admit that I left out one. I left out Tchaikovsky. He actually should have been number 7. Handel was actually number 8, but Tchaikovsky's hard. And all the pieces that I'm playing tonight, I think probably any of the students here within the next 2 or 3 years would be able to play. So that was another advantage to picking things that are likable. That I didn't have to work quite as hard to prepare it. And the first piece by Handel is actually the violin sonata of his. It's the 4th violin sonata out of 6, and it's the one that has been recorded the most, so it's the most popular of his violin sonatas. And the first movement, in a way, might remind you a little bit of another popular work of his, the Hallelujah Chorus from the Messiah. It's in the same key and has some similar rhythms. Get this out here.
writes, Dear Terry, I am thrilled that you are being honored by the Barthelmes Conservatory of Music for your work as a master teacher and performer. I have so many fond memories of you growing personally, musically, and technically in the Norman Public Schools Orchestra Department. You were one of those special students who quietly and studiously became one of our shining examples of coupling good teachers with excellent students. As the concertmaster of the Norman High School Orchestra, you helped develop and maintain your reputation as one of the outstanding orchestras in the United States. One of my most vivid memories is when we were together at the University of North Texas. I can't remember if I knew that you were a student there before I arrived or not, but I do remember seeing you as the concertmaster of this wonderful orchestra. All of a sudden, I was a student working with some of my former students. After all of the grief I probably gave you in high school, I was just a little bit worried. To your great credit, I was relieved to know that you were just as easy to work with as before. A great student and an outstanding professional musician, even in those unusual circumstances. I am very pleased to be able to call you one of my former students and to enjoy the fact that we are now professional colleagues. I am very proud of the work that you have done over these many years. Our profession is not the easiest in the world, but it's in fact one of the most rewarding ones. I know the Barthelmes Conservatory of Music is a wonderful place. They are fortunate to have you, and I know that you give them your best at all times. I hope your students and colleagues know and appreciate the level of your musicianship and professionalism. I wish you the very best with your continued success. John.
Probably the most important thing about playing in an orchestra, which is not to tell the conductor when they're wrong, even if they are wrong and you know it. Anyway. Enough said.
Now, at this time, I want to invite Mr. Pollak's college musician and a good friend, great friend of his, Mrs. Missy Miller.
Because Mr. Pollak on many occasions has asked me to substitute for him, and it has been my great honor to work with you. He does a fine job with his students. I've known Mr. Pollak for 5 years, and we played in the Signature Symphony Viola section together. He does a wonderful job. He's a very conscientious player, and usually in the world of professional musicians, a lot of times you encounter very egotistical and people that are really arrogant, and they just, they hold themselves in very high regard. And Mr. Pollak is just the opposite. He is a very fine musician, but he's very humble, and he's always complimentary of other musicians and always putting other people before himself. And a pleasure to be here, and thank you for asking me.
This time I want Mrs. Brennan and Nicholas.
I actually met years back when he was
Wear this tomorrow. I'm going to California. Oh, thank you. Oh, you recognize that. Having a lesson, I guess. Oh, yeah.
Mr. Pollak, M is for making me sad. R is because he's brilliant. T is for his perfection and beauty. O is because he's an outstanding teacher. L is because he loves to hear me play. L is because he loves to play the viola. A is for his amazing talents. And K is for his happiness.
Now I would like to invite Erica Parker.
Well, I'm kind of an outsider here. My name is Miss Parker, or Erica Parker, depending, I guess, on who you are. I have known Terry for 15 years, a long time. And Dr. Clinton, who sent the telegram, he was my teacher too at Norman High School. And this is kind of interesting because I'm actually an old student of Terry Pollak's, although I'm a cellist. He was my student teacher when I was at Norman Mid-High under Tina Salem. And so I've kind of been his student, and I'm also a colleague now, a professional colleague, which is kind of strange. But anyways, well, it's not strange. Anyways, I get really nervous when I have to talk in front of people. I'm much better when I have a piece of wood in front of me, so I'm just going to try to do my best here, kind of read this thing I wrote about Terry. Well, everybody said how kind and gentle and compassionate he is, and he truly is. When I was I guess it was in 10th grade, he wrote a little solo for me when he was a student teacher, and I was so excited that somebody would write a solo for me. So I played it pretty okay. And this is the biggest thing that Terry Pollak did for me, a personal experience, I suppose. I was at Norman High School. I was a senior at Norman High School, and Terry came to me and said, "Hey, I've got this great idea. Why don't you play in this Mozart flute quartet with me, David Legato, and Julie Waldrop?" And I said, "Well, aren't you guys like college students?" And he was like, "Yeah." Except that Terry had already had a professional career in Florida as a symphony player. He played an audition and won a job in Florida as a violinist. And then he came back to Norman to get a teaching degree, and he got a job playing in the Oklahoma City Philharmonic as a violist. And he was all those things when he asked me to play in this quartet. And as you can imagine, I was like, "Oh, really, me?" So I played with him for a year in this flute quartet. And because of him asking me to do that, I decided to go to OU and get my degree. Now, you think, "Oh, yeah, you went to OU, how cool, that's so nice." Except that because I went to OU and got my undergrad there, I went out to North Carolina and got my graduate degree there, but OU is really the place that helped me get a job when I got out of my master's degree. And I would not be here in Tulsa with a job if it hadn't been for Terry asking me to play in that flute quartet. So, since both Terry and I, our hometown is Norman, I'm sorry I had to do this to you, Terry. I got these pins for him that say the University of Oklahoma. let me out to be able to come and say something nice about Terry. So thank you so much.
Well, and she reciprocated in me getting a job because she recommended me for the Signature Symphony.
Oh, absolutely, I did. I said, you guys got to take Terry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This next piece by Brahms is a Hungarian dance originally written for orchestra. And you've probably heard it before, chances are pretty good. You've probably been on Bugs Bunny or something like that.
really the heart of music. I have heard lots of songs from him. I hope Mr. Pollak never retires because he is a great teacher.
And I don't know if you wanted to know what's in there, but it's a Borders gift card.
May I invite Berta Lively and Jacob Cameron?
Now, I said I was gonna say this from the heart and not write it out, and then I got to thinking, when we get up here, we get nervous, so I better write this in the note. So I'm gonna do like three sketches of it. You knew Jacob before he came here, and you saw the talent in him, and you worked with him. For that, I think. Any person deserves to be blessed. I believe it is a person that gives of themselves and helps others grow. I can see that in you. That's what makes for a great teacher. You have spark and help the talent grow. The blooming stages in Jacob's, as well as all, I'm sure, all your other students' lives. Far beyond what I should give to Jacob. And for that, I think you do part of my heart. I was told the kind of thing that you like comes from this also. So I and Jacob would like to present you with something into this from Greece.
I saw Karen Cooper, sister-in-law, and who I will invite to the stage now. And if I'm missing anyone from the family, mother-in-law, yes, there is mother-in-law.
My story is a lot like Erica's. When I first met Terry, I was in high school when he started dating my sister. And one of the first things, and I also get nervous when I speak, one of the first things he did for me was my high school graduation present. He gave me the Bach flute sonatas, which I used to audition to get into the TU Wind Ensemble. And since then, Terry's always provided wonderful pieces for me to play, wonderful CDs for me to learn from. And he's also provided an opportunity for me to play with a professional musician. And over the past 10 years, I really don't think I'd be as good of a musician as I am today if I hadn't have been playing next to Terry. And for my gift, I wanted to arrange a piece for Terry, which I do often, but this time I wanted to arrange one that would really showcase Terry's skills. So I arranged Bach cello sonata, his first cello sonata for viola, as a trio for Kevin and Terry and I to play at some future date.
Mrs. Walker.
Well, I was just back there thinking, no wonder my husband didn't come tonight. Usually you guys get to see Scotty, and I work evenings, but Scott was like, oh, no, you need to go tonight, please go. But I know. But I do have to say, Mr. Pollak, that if there was any night I could be here, tonight is the night.
No bruising the cello.
Well, I've known Terry for, I guess, coming up on 2 years now through teaching here together. And first of all, I want to thank him for being kind tonight in his musical choices. The piano parts aren't that bad. I was afraid it was going to be all Mach 5 with my hair on fire, but it's not. So, because I'm learning, hanging out with these string players in the trio, that string players, it's faster, faster, faster. And pianists, a lot of times we're like, oh no, that's allegro, but that could be taken a lot of different ways.
You're not kidding.
I've enjoyed getting to know Terry these last couple of years, for watching him with his kindness with his students and his obvious love for them and concern for them, and also just the fun that we have as a faculty together, and he's a big part of that. Here again, with the sense of humor. And he's an uncompromising musician, but a lot of times when people are uncompromising about things, they can be difficult to be around, but he's not. And I feel like he has lifted me up as a musician, and I know there are a lot of other people in this room that feel the same way. I also have learned the meaning of all life from Terry in the last couple of years. And it really all boils down to up bow or down bow. So, and he's also always supplying, not just Kevin and me, but everybody with music to listen to. And so this is in that vein. There you go.
When I first planned this program, I was thinking that I would only do pieces that were actually written for violin and piano, or at least violin and keyboard of some sort. But then it turned out everything Beethoven wrote is pretty hard. It was originally written, so, and same with some other composers. And this composer, Verdi, didn't write anything for violin and piano, and he's the fourth most recorded composer. He wrote a bunch of opera, and one of them is named after our illustrious leader, Aida. And this is the march from Aida. And I'd tell you what Aida is about, but I know absolutely nothing about opera, and so I know nothing about the opera Aida, except that it's very long.
not playing the viola. And she auditioned, and Miss Aida called me and said, well, ask her would she mind playing the viola. So I asked her, and she didn't mind playing the viola. So she actually went from playing the cello to the viola. And Mr. Pollak made that transition for her so easy. So now, I mean, you can just tell the difference. And I had a parent, well, I had another parent whose student, we knew this night was coming up, and we were trying to get together to come up with these gifts. And one of the parents asked me about Mr. Pollak. I was so embarrassed because he taught my daughter for 2 years. I virtually knew his name was Terry Pollak, and that was it. I had no clue. And so I came up with this thing. I was like, okay, if I had to tell the story about Mr. Pollak, I actually pulled him to the side and kind of grilled him and learned a few things about him. But if I had to tell the story, I would venture to say that Mr. Pollak, when he was in the crib, played something like this. I would venture to say that he played something like that because just so wonderful, and he plays so very well. That when he's in the group, he plays something like this. And about the age of maybe 5,
He graduated.
to something like this. And actually, this is actually a cue ring. So no matter where he goes, he will always have music.
So that's it?
It actually plays about Adrian's song. And if he decides that he wants to actually get an office and have a desk, he can actually listen to this one. Actually, I gotta sing the same song, but it does different songs. Okay. And as you can tell, the little bowls actually work. I was just so amazed that they actually, when you put them on there, they work. And I'm gonna let Brittany do her.
Miss Barthelmes, thank you for teaching us how to feel. And thank you for being so nice to me and listening to me. And
Okay, now that this, while Brittany was speaking, he grew up. He became an adult. And as an adult, he got to do adult things. So when he went to his recital, actually, he had on his suits that had this nice book. He had this nice tie clip. It has a little Viola. And he graduated, he got to go play the symphony. So when he went to play the symphony, he had to wear a tux. So he has these ballet tux. And I heard he liked dark chocolate. Oh yeah, she said that was his retirement gift, the chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Next logical present with the next February. Okay, next year. Yes. That's always the next. Okay, Mrs. White and Megan.
Mr. Pollak, the first thing that really struck me about you is how you have the ability to inspire every student as if they're your favorite. And I always get emotional, so I'm done.
Mr. Pollak is one of the best teachers I have ever had. And when I came, he was very shy. But when you get to know him, he has a great personality. I have learned so much since I have been his student. He also has a great sense of humor. At the first evening of honor, Mr. Pollak wanted to know why we couldn't roast the instructors instead. Rather than roast you, Mr. Pollak, we bought you a roast.
Let's get that puppy started. We have it ready.
That's great. So until this point, we have a nice part of all these. From this point on, his idea of roasting. I first would like to invite Dr. Reed. Yes. And before decided that I want to participate in my school string program. I also knew that if I joined the string program, I would no longer be required to participate in the vocal music program, which I detested far more than any other aspect of school. Hold on. Singing has always arisen within me a feeling of utter panic. It's odd that I now sing along with when my students play scales. I'm trying to get them to think the solfege syllables to themselves as they play the scales. So, please continue. You have to comment on.
I'm speechless. I'm in shock. I didn't know that this fear of singing was. Well, I'll make you a deal. If you would work through that, then and work through it consistently. And students, you'll check them, won't you? You'll have them to sing through some of the music in solfege, right? If you do well, then you get to use that.
You want to go for that now? Or?
No, I think you should think about your singing.
This piece by Beethoven was originally written just for the piano. And somebody arranged it for violin and piano. And you've probably heard it before.
music is such a gift, and we thank you for sharing that gift with us. I've been with us for a long time. We appreciate your patience. There's something about an instructor and a student, I think, that if a student has the right instructor, he can really excel, and it's made a big difference. So, I can tell. You're so patient with him. You go the extra mile to help pick out music that he likes to play, and I think that keeps him motivated, and he really wants to try and please you. We appreciate it.
Terry's a really nice teacher. At school, I've heard a lot of reports about other teachers, and from my old violin teacher about other teachers not being so nice as Terry is. And he really does let me pick out all the music that I usually like including Scottish and Irish.
I'd like to make one quick correction. I'm sorry, Dana. String players like to play higher, faster, louder. Not just faster, faster. Throughout the evening, I've heard several sentiments of Terry being an extremely versatile teacher for decades, as it were. You've started for a long time. And as far as having sheet music for all occasions, I can vouch for this also. He's given me, I don't know, every arrangement of anything I needed for a wedding that I had to do, that I actually didn't end up having to do, but I have all this music, so thanks anyways. One of my favorite memories of Terry is the chance encounters that aren't all too seldom as I'm pulling up coming into school to teach. You know where I'm going with this, huh? He's also getting here at the same time, and usually I'm cutting him off in traffic or something, so I'm sorry about that. And so we'll get here, and he opens his trunk, which can usually explode with things coming out of violins and bags of music and computers and just all of this stuff, all of this dedication that he invests to helping his students, to helping this conservatory, to helping anyone he can get better at music, to learn themselves, about themselves, to help his colleagues progress in their careers, to help a school progress with the quality of their students in teaching. As funny as it is sometimes to watch Mr. Pollak carting a computer around in and out of my rehearsal. And computers and instruments and help and strings and I gave you back your scissors, right? Okay. He has so much love for this, and I think we've heard that from so many students and faculty and colleagues. So I just wanted to roast you a little. Got a few jokes. So I'm glad to see him here, and I hope you stay for a long time in Tulsa. Norman, they're fine. They're doing all right without you. And I'm glad that I've gotten to know you. This is my first semester, year, ever really having worked with you. I've seen you in the Signature Symphony and holding it down in the Viola section. And I've really come to appreciate your tenacity for this job, your dedication to your students. Something that has been inspiration through you to me and from all the faculty and administration here. The support is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Terry, phenomenal work. Your students are phenomenal. They're going to be phenomenal players. They're wonderful little players now. I have an orchestra full of them. You're a blessing to everyone you know.
I'm Carla Jimerson, and just very short and briefly, I'd like to say that I really appreciate what Terry brings to my class. When I first called the conservatory, I asked if they taught adults, and they told me yes. Little did they tell me that I would be the only one. I really enjoyed it for a while. And what I'd like to say about him is he is incredibly patient. He's very passionate about what he does. He's phenomenal in the sense that he, in spite of what we've heard all of our lives, he can teach an unlawful
The next number is Bach, yes. Before you play that number, I want to say what your classmate, Rob Flickinger, so he says, Terry is one of the reasons I went to school and became a musician. His Bach is astonishing and immaculate. Now he will play.
No pressure.
Before we play this, originally, Bach wrote a lot of music for violin and keyboard, but this piece was written for flute and keyboard, and I arranged it for violin and keyboard. Why not just play something that was written for violin and keyboard? Well, some of the pieces that he wrote for flute and keyboard are nicer pieces than the ones for violin and keyboard. And originally I thought, because the lowest note on the flute is C, and the lowest note on the viola is C, I would just play it on the viola. But then I tried it on the violin, and it sounded good on the violin too, and since I was playing violin on the other things. So I apologize to my viola students for not playing viola tonight. I promise next year, just viola recital next year.
quiet and unassuming and modest that it is really hard to get to know the person behind that. And we've gotten to do that over the last 6 months or so, kind of slowly. If nothing else, is patience with us. And he's a shining example for Michaela and all of his students of what can become of hard work, dedication, and self-discipline. More than anybody I know, when he plays his music, you can feel it. It's also emotional to us women, you know? It's just a woman thing. And I guess that's all I have to say, Michaela.
I wrote mine because I get nervous. Mr. Pollak is a great teacher, violinist, and a wonderful person. He has a great sense of humor, and he has helped me through the last 2 years and has done a very good job of teaching me. I'd also like to thank him for letting me pick out all of my favorite concert pieces. And
Mrs. Schneider? And Mr. Schneider. We're on.
First, I just want to say thanks for everything you've done. You're so funny, as everyone said. Like, your example of the vibrato on an open string is bing. This is funny. You're so giving. You have given me so many CDs and music. You let me pick out everything I do, and that is very. I like that. And I play it differently every time I play it, and I appreciate that you write in the different ways I play it every time I play it. I miss there aren't holes in all my music from all the erasing and rewriting and erasing and rewriting, but you keep doing it. And I'm so happy that you're my teacher.
That's why I use copies, because I got in trouble for having erasures all over the table the other day.
We were so excited when Tess was accepted to Barthelmes, and it never occurred to me that she would be playing viola. That was just, I don't know, I thought, piano is what I thought, and we got viola, and
I thought Viola.
so she got her way, and she's,
Still doing so.
she's
I've come
doing
so
wonderfully,
far.
and in fact likes viola better than piano now. But the one thing, I guess, that the story I'm going to share is, a couple of months ago, we were here in the waiting room, and I was parent monitor, and Tess was with me, and we were waiting, and Mr. Pollak came out and saw Tess and said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Nothing." He goes, "Come on, let me give you an extra lesson." And I looked around at the parents, I was like, "Oh my gosh, an extra lesson." We were just all so excited, kind of like we won the lottery. We wanted to give you something that, a bit of lasting beauty, like you've shared with Tess. So we've got some roses for you, which is the new winter reception.
Thank you. Thank you.
Victor Hugo, who wrote Les Miserables and The Hunchback of Notre Dame, said that music expresses that which cannot be said, but on which it's impossible to stop talking. And our thanks to you, I guess, is in some ways like that. Our words probably, and our gifts probably can't express our thanks. We want to keep
starts, he gets an encore whether I do or not.
My, my, my.
And you've seen you the suit, man.
Oh, no, I guess not. That's okay. Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr.
I
Jackson.
know people, I know. What to say about my friend here? There's not very many people that I would stand up for an hour and 23 minutes. Considering my parents. But this gentleman is very well worth it. And I wanted to dress up in this penguin suit. Because this is what I think about when I think about this gentleman right here. Just quality, excellence, the consummate musician. Oh, excuse me. Thank you. See, she's on top of it. Thank you very much. This is our running joke. Oh. You have to know the erasers. Anyway, when I first met him about 2 years, I think about 2 years ago, my first impression of this gentleman is he's quiet. And that's cool. That's fine. But he strikes me with this, and I mean this in the highest form of praise, Mr. Rogers quality. Well, and what I mean when I say that, I've watched him, observed him in his class and how he talks to his students, like this, and if they say no, okay, well then, he goes on. He's just, in our lessons though, y'all may not see him cut up. We get to see him cut up in our trio, but we won't get into that. And I'm making this video for him so he can keep for his this video scrapbook for 1995 for shipping and handling. And they talked when he was at my evening, and he said something about I'm very flexible, and I don't look at myself as flexible. I look at this gentleman here as he said he changes bowings and sometimes at the last minute, and he does, and that's fine because he keeps me on my game, and he helps me. I was trying to think of a word as I was on the way over here. He helps me think outside the bowl. And that's for him. And people say, why does he change all the time? I said, well, he's a consummate musician, and excellence is not a event, it's a process, lifelong process. And he could hear something Tuesday night, we were practicing here Tuesday night, and it sounds fine. I think it sounds fine. Queen Dana thinks it sounds fine. And Saturday morning, when we get to rehearsal, he's changed it. He didn't like it. So, and we bust the erasers, and he's got like 450 of those in that box there. So that'll last about a week, I think. And I wasn't going to roast. I wasn't going to do that. But I just want to say it's been my privilege and my honor to work with this gentleman for, I keep calling him gentleman. He is. I just, that's what I think about when he sits there and he drinks his coffee on Saturday mornings and he's changing the bowings. And we're talking and having fun. And I had to find some. I was online and I found some viola jokes. Yeah. I had to, and there's a whole lot more. I was in there for quite a while. I mean, that list is long, so I just picked out a couple. Mr. Hope will kick out of this one. What? Yes, here it is. What do violas and lawsuits have in common? Everyone likes it when the case is closed. What's the definition of a minor second? Two violas playing in unison. Only the 30 people got that. What is perfect pitch? Throwing a viola into the trash can and without hitting the brim. Okay. Before I go, I want him to do me one last honor. I don't know how we're going to do this, but it works out fine. If he would play with me. The first one on the thing there, and I hope we're in tune, but it doesn't matter because he plays the viola, right? Come on this way. All right. All you have to do is just go back. All right, count us off. I can play that one. Not you. It's in 3.
Oh, yeah.
He's music and coffee. These 2 favorite things. Sounds like what?
Oh, boy.
Harry, I thought we would take this occasion, if Armin would help me, to share with the crowd of folks here and with all the parents and your colleagues a little bit of your past. And so tonight, Charity Pollak, this is your life. Terry, do you remember? Are we ready back here? Hold on. I don't think I've got any. I'm trying to see this. Those kind of jokes. No.
There's seats up front.
Okay, I'm just coming. Okay. So where would we begin in anybody's life? Of course, with birth. Huh? Come on. When the sun goes down, it's dark. But tonight, we need to share with you something that is very important for you all to know. Terry, I know that it's something that you've kept from us, maybe even from Charity, your lovely wife. But you remember the newspaper articles when you were born, don't you? Don't you remember how everyone was just raving about the fact that this child was born into this world, and your parents were thinking, oh my gosh, what is this kid going to be? Do you remember what the newspaper said? Parents shocked when mom delivers Abe instead of Abe. And this is what started it all, ladies and gentlemen, right here. There he is, and this is the truth. This is the newspaper that came out that day. Do you remember, Terry? And from that point on, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this boy shaved off his beard, got stuck in the floppy disk drive. So his life went on. His life went on in elementary school. And if you remember Terry, and I can't believe after going through your history, all of the things, remember you wanted so very much to be in a rock and roll band. This was the very start of his music career, but his parents said, no rock and roll, son, only classical music around here. So he did a little bit of both. Started a large rock and roll band called the Teen Bounty Hunters. And here he is back there. What up? There. You tell the difference between the music note and anyway. So actually, that large rock and roll band right there, and Terry, right there, became the start of his musical career. The start of his private lessons, the start of a talent behind that violin that was absolutely remarkable. Actually, it was shocking. Terry, remember that day in your private lesson? When you went in there and you played that acid rock song by, what was it? I don't even remember, but do you remember what happens? You blew your teacher up. Remember? Here ends the lesson. There he is. There goes the teacher. It's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't lie. So that's it for the music career. Terry, if you remember correctly, put down the violin or go to jail. Anyway, so got to change careers, didn't know what to do, was thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my life? So he went to Mrs. Doubtfire, the movie, remember that? And he decided, I'm going to dress up like Robin Williams.
Oh my.
Can you say, no, Terry, that ain't going to work? So he moved on. That enterprise wasn't exactly what we were thinking about. And so instead, he got together with a girlfriend and thought, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get involved in something that's healthy and aerobically sound. And so, have you heard of Pilates? Have you heard of that? Yeah. Well, he started a business called Pilates. You can eat pie and lose a pound a month and have fun. Well, that didn't work either, did it? So, it was about this time when he ran into and fell in love with his lovely wife, Jerry. And they bonded. They not only bonded together in life for life, but also they got together with the best idea yet. And so they took it, and it was an arts idea, which was consistent with what he really wanted to be. And they practiced and practiced and practiced. They had their big night, but the critics just didn't come out too well in the newspaper. In fact, here's what it said. Patrons of the arts disgusted by beer ballet. What was that, Terry? Beer ballet? I don't get it. So things just weren't doing right. None of the entrepreneurial skills were working. And so Terry started another business. This one was his psychotherapy business. And he said to himself, well, I think I'll make you a mental wizard. Here he was, his first ad, with his fork in his hand. And he said to himself, no, I think I'll go to the bathroom and look in the mirror and try to make myself a wizard. So he went back to music, ladies and gentlemen. He started practicing. He started working with an ensemble. And practice hard he did. And here he is with the first Barthelmes trio. He started getting serious. And finally, our Mr. Terry Pollak came to the Barthelmes Conservatory. And we are so glad. We are so thrilled. Welcome.
Excuse me, pardon me.
I don't know what to say. it's right under that seat.
Sorry, guys.
We'll wait for you.
Okay. First of all, Terry did dress up like a woman one time. He was wearing clothes, so. And this is Emmy. She's 3.5. This is baby Eric. I met Terry about 11 years ago when I was at University of Oklahoma, and we both played in the orchestra. And he was very mysterious at that time, and he still is completely a mystery to me. So we share that. I'm really proud of him for 2 reasons. One is that he's probably one of the nicest people that I've ever met. He's kind and nice to everyone, and he doesn't even have to try at all. It just comes naturally to him. The second reason that we've all been very proud of him is for his talent. Probably a lot of you don't know that Terry stopped playing his instrument for a while. How long was that? 2 years. Did you think he might stop forever? Yeah. So he thought it wasn't a good way to earn money, and that maybe he would do something else, and maybe he would never play again. And lucky for us, he changed his mind, started playing again, and now it's almost his entire life. So, and we're so proud of him for that because he does a great job, and it really makes our lives better because of his talent and his love for music. And so anytime if you play music and you think about quitting, I actually did too. When I was out of high school, I thought about quitting, and I started back again. Remembered to keep playing because it's good to always have music in your life, even if you don't do it all the time or you're not a professional. My gift is Terry has maybe 3 loves, maybe his family, his music, and then this would be probably his biggest one. It's not an eraser. It's a computer.
Yeah.
Before his last encore number, I want to say what he said on one occasion. When I asked him what guided him to the path of a professional music career, he said, a desire to do work that doesn't seem like work. I think they call it play.
The odds are pretty good you've heard this last piece by Mozart too.
can't wait to hear this piece. I don't know. Hey, I had to find something. There were no shell jokes online. Everybody.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like a shirt.
You guys are going to eat a little bit.
Yeah. They're going to name it Charles.
Eat it and eat dinner.
Okay. Grandpa says I tried to get your grandmother's name, one of the boys, Charles, from her. She wouldn't want it.
Yeah, some of them were with me.
It's like, woo!
Well, you know, his name is Keith Francis. Well, Kimberly is Kimberly Charles, so they have my name.
You get no photos.
You're lucky I wasn't in town when you were.
But,
Teresa's next. Bring that fish pie.
if I had said anything, I'd have said nice things about him too. I like him. I think
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. And to you?
And to you, yes.
he's a sweetie pie. He's a gene like you know. When he comes to pick the baby up, oh, I'm glad. I'm really glad.
Okay, the apples are. I don't have apples. Yeah, don't find
I'll see why we're poor.
We'll get that glass of the flame.
Yeah, and I love you, Lord.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Davey.
I'm not putting anything next to you.
You all right? That'd be all right. Just gonna stand up and play. Chemistry will let.
I'll have the car around front and so.
Thank you very much.
It's over there.
Oh my gosh.
By the way,
She's over there. Upstairs. They have a black tie and hair going on.
Yeah. She has some.
You probably should.
Carrying tray.
There's more trays up there.
What are you trying to do to me, man?
We're not down here. Oh, you already knew. I knew? Yeah, we just
Sorry.
You burned them.
I will.
Okay. Emmy, go ahead. Come on, Emmy. Does that have fire inside? Burn it in the chocolate thing.
And you're not burning in the chocolate thing.
Yeah.
That's your colleague, Mr. A, without his medication, but that's okay.
in line, right there. That's the beginning of the song. Beginning. Yeah, you start stepping on your way.
Say something nice about Mr. Pollak. This is a video.
He's the bestest.
Well, the second bestest, but that's all right. I'm just kidding.
I'm just this big from his evening of honor.
Yes.
Is this for Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. P, I just want to say thank you for keeping it under 2 hours.
4.5 hours.
Mr. J took way too long. He's not that cool. I don't know how that
We're
happened.
breaking up for some reason. I can't. I had no control over that. Hey. Talk to my people.
Jack, there's carrot cake. I know.
Chocolate on your lip, man.
Yes, with
The other side. I see you. Isn't she pretty? Look at there. Look at those. That's a big honking piece of cake there. Mike.
No.
Who's that for,
I don't know
Emma?
how to carry it.
You?
It's not.
That's multitasking.
I did it.
Smile.
I did it.
Get away from me with that camera.
You know, you have either a career in the cello or in the leader.
Look here, this is a future musician. Future musician.
That's a cello if I've ever seen one.
Maybe flute.
Long fingers. Hello.
Hello.
Keep smiling.
What does Terry think? I don't know. Did you ask him? He didn't seem
That's the last team.
I just thought he might get embarrassed. He didn't seem embarrassed.
Where is Mr. P? Where did he go? How did he sneak out?
He was afraid of the camera.
I can't close the video out without him on it. I got to get a picture of him before.
So, Mr. Jackson, a question to you. How was the evening? Reflections of the evening.
Speaking to the camera, please. What?
Reflections.
It was perfect.
Evening.
It was perfect.
Great.
I love the flow. Love this choice of music.
Yes.
His colleagues are outstanding.
Yes. Cool. Especially one of them. Mr. Pollak, what do you think about the afterthoughts of the evening?
Don't say you're glad it's over. Don't say that.
It was lovely.
It was lovely.
I enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it. Not good. Now without camera. Close the camera. Do you really?
Oh yeah.
Good. We think so. Yeah.